finally back with power. Hurricane Barrel absolutely took us off of the radar. We lost power for 36 hours. I lost cell phone connection for, it's still awful right now, but we are back. We are glad to be able to catch at least the nighttime stream or session of the Twitch drops for the first day. I wanted to be here whenever they launched, but I still think it's going to be a fantastic stream, and we're going to be going as long as we can. Right now, my daughter, as soon as the air kicked on, she finally fell asleep, got some good rest, and so hopefully we'll be able to stream for an extremely long time. Krispy Kreme, welcome in. Benjamin Knight, welcome in as well. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day so far. We in here, Dad, dude, we are absolutely in here. We are excited to be here. I not necessarily super excited about Gwinpool herself. I think a lot of times she's kind of lackluster, but there are some times where she can absolutely pop off. And then Hydra Bob Day. I came back and I was really curious if Hydra Bob changed our meta, but it doesn't look like he has. And then DuckDales, Crows, Zombie Lemon, welcome in, Alex. What's up, everybody? We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do a really quick run through of our Gwinpool deck, and I did create a scene so that it at least comes off a little bit cleaner. I'm here for the cookout, DuckDales. We're gonna be here for the long haul, so just get ready, have your snacks, and then make sure that you're logged in with your Marvel Snap account so that you can get your drops. And so the deck that I want to try out with Gwinpool first is it's like a hand buff deck, but it doesn't lean all the way into that. It doesn't use like Nakia. It doesn't use Koye, because I think both of those are still probably traps. I don't think they're going to be effective enough to warrant a slot. But in this one, Gwinpool takes the spot where previously you could put in something like Cersei or another kind of mid-range, mid-game card that can kind of help you swing one lane. But the main core of it is going to be your Brood, your Mr. Sinister, your Absorbing Man. If any one of those gets hit, you can have a really big push. No Shaw. I don't own Shaw, but I think Shaw could be another good shout. I think it'd be pretty good. Dad, how are you? Good evening, Zero Youth. I'm doing well. Stacy Peach, first time catching you live. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad that I was able to launch live. It was eating away at me knowing that I didn't have power from the storms, and all the drops were starting. The new card was released. I had an itch. And then if you hit Mysterio with Gwinpool, then it's going to give you a huge push as well. But she doesn't feel completely pivotal either. A lot of times you might have a better line just 3, 4, 5, and then your last turn doing like a Patriot Silver Surfer. But overall, this is my starting point. We may change it a few times throughout the stream. But as everyone's filtering in, before we jump over into our first game, I am going to run a quick ad. That way it pushes us off for a little bit. And my wife overheard you talk about being sick this week on YouTube. Now she's concerned about whether or not your boss watches the streams. So actually, my job shut down Monday and Tuesday, and then we got a notice today that it's also shut off on Wednesday and Thursday. And so I have the week off without having to call in sick. So it just kind of worked out in my favor. We're going to run a quick ad as people continue to filter in, then we'll jump into a few games and start our climb. Bar Soap, welcome in. Stacy Peach, you said you love my variants. It's taken a while, and I haven't bought really many. I haven't purchased many of them. I haven't purchased many of them, but I do like most of the ones that we have here. And then Paradox, it's so nice to finally catch you live. I'm so glad you were able to catch us live. And then hopefully you enjoy the stream. Do you have a preferred artist? I typically lean towards Dan Hip on a lot of things, but I like a lot of the artists. I think Max Grecki, Art Germ is fantastic. There's so many talented artists that we have that it's hard to pick just one. And then, oh my goodness, I need to turn on the alerts. I missed a couple of them. M2814, thank you so much for the resub as a tier 1. This is the third month in a row. The Lotto, thank you for the Prime sub. And then Double Down, thank you for the resub at tier 1. That helps us towards Partner Plus as well. Already on a hype train. I know we just launched live, and we're already kicking off on a hype train. Even though I was out of power for the last 36 hours, luckily it doesn't seem like any of our food spoiled. Like our popsicles and stuff, of course, melted, but like the frozen meats all seem fine. We lost a couple of trees, but no windows. Everybody's safe, and so we're good. Yeah, and in the Houston heat too. So it was really brutal today, but we finally got it back, and I'm very glad, because there's still over, I think, 1 million people that were impacted in the Houston area. Please tell me, brother, you did not buy Bob. Well, I would be lying if I told you I did not buy the Bob. He's going to be game changing. Probably not, but we bought him. I don't know that I'll ever even use him. His ability, he moves once, so he's a much less flexible. Are you collection complete again? Not quite. He's a much less flexible, like Jeff, that can also be popped by Killmonger. It just, like, if I wanted someone to move and put it into the move package, since he only moves one time, I would rather have like Silk. He just yeah. I ended up getting the other variants as well. So the Galactus and the Nebula one. It took me 3 keys to get Bob. Maybe I'll regret it. So I'm not quite collection complete. I think it is this way. We have Cole Obsidian, Proxima, Shaw, and War Machine. Shaw is really the only one that I don't know when he's going to be featured that I would be interested in having. These two are going to be featured pretty soon, and then War Machine, he's War Machine. I'm going to go AFK for a bit. I'm going to go get dinner for the kids. Zombie Lemon, thank you for AFKing, and hopefully you're signed in so you can be working towards your drops. All right, we're going to switch back over to this scene, and we'll jump into a couple of games. And I did play a handful of games as soon as the power came back, because I didn't want to launch a stream and then it end because the power went back out. And so I played a handful just to kind of test out a few things. So we'll grab the rewards really quick. So many Green Goblin variants that I don't see me ever using that one, but all right, we'll jump into a couple of games. And then, yeah, we do have the drops enabled, so you guys are going to be able to work towards those. And this is the first time I'm streaming with drops. So I'm really excited to be able to be here, at least on day one. Even though I wasn't here when they first popped up, at least we made it on day one. Yeah, Shaw's really good, but I don't play much. So he's a role player. So he is in like Silver Surfer decks. So it's really the only place he's used. And so outside of that, there's not a whole lot of flexibility with him. And so I didn't feel the need to like rush by him. Did you get Bob? I did get Bob. I haven't watched anyone yet. I'll stick around as long as you're on. Eldane, I plan to be on as long as I can, either until my wife gets so mad because our daughter woke up and I have to get off, or until I just get tired and fall asleep, which would be quite a while from now. I don't think we even really want to play this one. We go wide, but we can't go tall. So I'm just gonna jump out of it. Pusher, welcome in. And then Ez, I finally get to catch a TLSG stream. Hello from Australia. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. I'm glad that you're able to join us. Good morning from Sydney. Hope you're doing well. So we're gonna be able to stream for some better Australian times. But I'm doing well. Thank you for jumping in. Not Tim Phillips. Hopefully you're having a great day. And then Lucky Flip, how was your first days back in the office? So I haven't actually been back to the office, Lucky Flip. So a Hurricane Barrel hit my area pretty hard, and so I've been out of power for the last 36 hours, and so my job canceled or closed the doors because they didn't have power, and we just got it back maybe 30 minutes ago, and so then I set up to jump on the stream. So I haven't been back in just yet, and I'm actually off tomorrow and the next day as well, and so I don't have to go back until Monday. Real estate, you said, bro, can I say that I've been following you forever? I remember when your account went silent for months. So glad you're back to the regular uploads. You're one of the goats of Marvel Snap content. Thank you so much, Real Estate. I'm really glad to have you, and I'm glad that you continue to watch the content even after my hiatus, because that was not something. It could have easily been that everyone just left, and they were like, we don't care anymore. You disappeared on us. And so I'm really glad and fortunate that you guys are still here to enjoy the content. Strange Hollow, I'm here. I'm in for the long haul. Strange Hollow, thank you so much for the resub at tier 2. And that's the 2nd month, Strange Hollow. I appreciate you. Hopefully you're having a great day. And I love to see the support. I used to check your uploads weekly. I apologize. Things just got way too heavy, and I had pushed off dealing with, some real life things. And eventually it just kind of all came crumbling to a dead stop. This has to be a bot, right? They're the only ones I ever see run armor in a destroy deck. Gwinpool unfortunately doesn't have any great targets, but still think it's our drop. Glad y'all are doing all right. Take care of yourself and your family first. Yeah, I channeled my inner lumberjack the last couple of days, taking care of the trees that fell, and cleaning up the yard and stuff like that. But fortunately, no major damage to like any of our fences or like our house, and so we're very fortunate in that regard. And then Boosty, welcome in. Time to milk the bot for cubes. Yeah, might as well snap it. Was hoping I'd see you try some Gwinpool out live. Yeah, Waffle Brains. Cobalt, you said I'm in South Houston myself. Not too much damage. Did you ever go out? Did you ever lose power, Cobalt? I know most people in the area did, at least for a little while. Addicted to Star Trek Fleet Command now? I blame you for not making Infinite last season. I actually dabbled in it quite a bit, like off stream, and I like it a lot more than I thought I would, and so I completely understand where you're coming from. I think we do something like this. I don't think it really matters what Iron Lad hits, just Wi-Fi and cell data. Oh, you lost Wi-Fi and your cellular data? Yeah, I still don't have the cell phone data back. Ooh, that's a huge Iron Lad hit. Popping at a 15 power Broodling over there. But no, my wife, I think, is also addicted to Star Trek Fleet Command as well because of me. She downloaded it and said she would download it, hit a couple of the progression marks for me, and I told her it ended. And she's still up there playing it now. Turn 6, 3 power turn 6. Yeah. We miss these once we get to Infinite. Once they start taking these back out, we'll enjoy them while we can. Especially with the Gwinpool. Gwinpool, if she hits the right targets, can be great. But I haven't found a way to make sure that those priorities come in, or those priority hits come in late enough. And I think maybe it's just that a 412 is good value. And then if you get something like Brood, then it's even better. You play in an office or a living room? Right now it's in a living room, but I was actually talking to my wife about potentially switching.
Oh, snap.
Because I think right now, like if my daughter wakes up, then it creates a lot of... I don't want them to be stressed about having to be quiet. And so right now it's just kind of open. But I think we may move into one of the other rooms that we have. I think that's what makes her balanced for now. Yeah. Yeah, I think outside of that, turn 4 is kind of late for like those hand buff cards. So like Mysterio, typically you'll have that down earlier. But I can see... Ooh, the Loki is scary. I do feel like we need to go like maybe Mockingbird. But then we would just be hoping that they can't overpower us in these two. Are you planning on starting a TLSG alliance? Yes, but I don't know exactly how like the membership for it works. Because I know that there's very limited spots. I think it's 25, I think is what we have confirmed. And so
Victory.
I don't know. I don't know how we, because I'm sure that we have more than 25 people that would be interested in jumping in. Yeah, and it's not a lot. And so I don't know how to make it fair. Where it doesn't... Oh, it's 30? Okay. Even then, 30 is still not. Make multiple alliances. But depending on how much upkeep it takes, depending on how much upkeep it takes, I'm not sure how viable that could be. Because I wouldn't want people to be in like a dead alliance that's not like pushing any kind of like the missions or however you get your rewards. I would hate to have people join in and it not give them any kind of value. I can't stop playing Arsham. Even Gwyn fit in there. Yeah, Gwyn I think fits in there pretty well. But you're going to end up just kind of having those random hits instead of it being really focused hits. And then Strange Holly said, I'm going to keep watching you on YouTube so I can play on my phone. No Twitch app on my TV. Okay. Strange Hollow, I appreciate you switching over. So we have Gwinpool next, but we don't have any good targets for it. I almost want to play the rock so that it doesn't hit. So in case, so we have a better chance if we draw into like Brood or Mr. Sinister next turn, we have a better chance of Gwinpool. Wasn't expecting a surprise stream. Sleeper. I had no idea when the power was going to come back, so it was just whenever I could jump in, and it came back, and I was really excited that it would. I was thinking I was going to have to launch it tomorrow, but at least we can stream some today, and I'm going to go for as long as I can. And then Mo Jungo, you said my unsubstantiated theory is Zabu gets his fix this month, help make 4 costs better. If he gets his fix this month, Gwynpool definitely becomes much better. Ooh, did they lose a? They lost a claw. Rough. And Gwynpool didn't... Gwynpool hit our Brood. It's just not super huge. So I think maybe we go Blue Marvel. Next would... I don't know. Maybe we go Brood. Chavez, Brood. If we get Absorbing Man, if we have the lead in Castle Blackstone, next turn we'll get a little bit of a bump in our energy, so maybe we could do Absorbing Man, something else. Grant 21s, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. Glad to see you. So we could go Iron Lad, Patriot. Ooh, but we wouldn't be able to do Mockingbird if we do the Patriot. In that case, I think we go... I'm going to throw Mockingbird to the left so it's at least a tie, unless they do something big. And then Iron Lad has a chance to pull into a rock, which is kind of unfortunate. And then I'm glad our Iron Lad did stick in mid. That should give us the point differential to be able to bring that one home. Not a pretty one by any means, but we will absolutely take it. Official Saucepan, you said, yay, good to see you up and running. Yeah, so the storm itself was over 9 a.m. yesterday. It was just the aftermath that took a while to deal with. I think Zabu might become an activate card. Yeah, I think he might be poised for that. What I'm concerned with is that activate may make it kind of clunky to do the abilities on the same turn. So if you're needing it for that next turn, so if you top deck him on 4 or on 5 and you play him, you may not be able to activate it going into 6. And I'm not sure if maybe you can activate it before playing your cards out. That's one of the pieces that we'll just kind of have to see how it interacts. What's the quickest you've gotten to Infinite? I think probably just a couple of hours, because a lot of times you're playing a lot of bots like this early on. Fire resistant, you're a Texas guy? We are, or I am. I am a Texas guy. So we could do Brood. We copy the powered up Brood. We play Gwynpool next. I'm in DFW. Yeah, so I'm in Houston. or right outside of Houston, and so it got hit pretty directly with the hurricane barrel. Luckily, no major damage. It was just, and Scooch, I don't know if I thanked you for the Prime sub 4 minutes ago. Thank you so much for the support and the Prime sub. And then Phoenix, thank you as well. I think maybe I don't have the alerts active, and that's why I missed it.
Hey, welcome. It took
There
you
we
long
go.
enough.
Make sure that those are turned back on. And so let's drop... Ooh, but Mindscape makes it kind of challenging. I'm not sure that I even want to do Gwinpool this game, unfortunately. I would like to, but I just don't think it's... I don't think it's worth it. This is going to give us a one-cost Mockingbird. We could do Mockingbird... We wouldn't want to copy it, though. Maybe it's Mr. Sinister. I don't know. We'll play it by ear. TLSG is the rare CST streamer, so he matches up with my time zone. Yeah, I am the rare CST streamer. He said my mom's side of the family is in Deer Park, so I know Houston. Nice, fire resistant. Houston's a really big place, so a lot of times we'll run into several people that are from that Houston area. So the Negasonic to the right, we could... What's actually a free Mockingbird? I kind of want to do... I don't want to do any of these. Maybe it becomes something like this. I know that we give them a copy of Blue Marvel, but I'm not sure that it matters too much. We were hoping to get more rain yesterday, but we just got sprinkles. Well, I ended up getting enough rain for you, I promise. Like it was, I could have gotten into a canoe and just floated down the street for a little while. Rush, I watched for so long, and I'll just always took TLSG for granted. What does it mean? So TLSG stands for, the true meaning is that live stream guy. Way back when. We can't ever win here. But can they win either of these becomes the question. I think we're just gonna do this and hope for the best. It stands for that live stream guy. So about maybe 8 years ago now, I streamed for all of a month, and I thought it would be really funny when picking out my name if somebody saw the stream and was recommending it to their friend. If they were like, hey, have you seen that live stream guy? And their friend would be like, which one? Was the kind of general idea with it. And during that month that I streamed, chat and shortened it to TLSG. And I just kind of stuck with that acronym from there. And so every game that I played, my main character ended up being TLSG. And so same thing with when I started the channel. Yeah, I had the dad jokes even 8 years ago. What did you stream before? I streamed, well, it was only for a month, but I streamed some variety stuff. It was just whatever new release was coming out was what I kind of played through. So we do have the Mr. Sinister, but I'm not sure if we want to hold it for Gwinpool or not. I don't think it's ever necessarily worthwhile to just hold it unless you can get a lot of triggers on it. But I'm still going to do it. We're going to play just Chavez this turn. The Hobgoblin is a little unfortunate. If it gets hit, then it's much less effective. And so for a little while, the first YouTube channel that I started was around Call of Duty. Was around Call of Duty back during like the montage days of ooh, that was a nice Chavez hit. Back before, like, where you just kind of had commentary over running gameplay was when I started dabbling in it at the very least.
Opponent snapped.
And then that didn't work out. I did some variety stuff. And then I actually did some VR stuff for like HTC Vive, and then switched over to card games after that. And I wasn't really sure that I was going to create a channel for Snap, but it was one that I enjoyed so much, and it was so early on that I just started kind of creating those videos around the different deck brews, and see where it went from there. This is a stacked Mysterio, and we're going against the bot.
Snap.
We're definitely going to snap it. I think we do Real Mysterio left. And then we'll go ahead and play Mr. Sinister. That should give us a free Mockingbird next turn. That way we can kind of explode on the last turn. Yeah, that 2/8 Mysterio is is massive. It got hit by the Chavez and then the Gwinpool. And then our Mockingbird, of course, got hit twice from Gwinpool, right? No, once from Wakanda Embassy, once from Gwinpool. That YouTube video guy? TYVG. Yeah, originally I started on YouTube, switched over to Twitch for, it was just a month when I did that. And then went to I was in college and I started a full-time job, and it just kind of got put on the back burner after that. I think it becomes, that's a really big left lane, the Mockingbird and the Rescue. But I think between Blue Marvel, honestly, I don't even know where we would need Mockingbird, but I'm going to play it into mid. I don't think we'll need that push anywhere. No, we're going to push it to the right because we have the extra +5 here. Capped, welcome in. You said, great to see you streaming. Long-time subscriber on YouTube. I'm so glad that you found the stream, and hopefully you've been having a fantastic day. I've been really enjoying the streaming side because I get to interact with you guys a lot more in real time than I do during the videos. And so I like the videos for that kind of analytical side. And then I like this for being able to actually interact with you guys. And then Heck and Check, thank you so much for the Prime sub. That pushes us to 4 for the day. Appreciate the support. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. Nice way to be patient on that last game. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult. And I wouldn't necessarily hold like the Mr. Sinister unless you had Gwinpool in hand, but it definitely paid off for us. What kind of deck do you recommend for early pool 3? So depending on what you pull can really dictate and change which direction you should go. Like if you've pulled Wong, just a Wong on reveal can carry you through that early game so incredibly well. It doesn't necessarily perform post-infinite all the time, but before that, it can serve you very, very well. If you don't have Wong, then depending on what other pieces you do have, something like a Hela deck is decently easy to build, and you can pump out some really big power. It's the biggest early game power cheat that you can typically do. So those are the two like super early ones that I would look to build, depending on, and of course it depends on what pieces you pull. If you pull some core pieces, then you may need to shift that. Ooh, I need to turn off the factor timer. So I'm gonna Mr. Sinister. Ooh. I'm gonna Mr. Sinister to the left. It puts power into the Altar of Death, but if we pull Absorbing Man here, then it's not gonna have anything to copy, but. And then Z35 Dino, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. I'm actually gonna switch over. I'm gonna turn off the factor timer. It is still running, but it doesn't need to be on a loop. Let me make sure that the command still works. Perfect. Silver Surfer is also kind of unfortunate to pull early. Blue Marvel would have been great, but they lost their Juggernaut. And the Hood and White Widow is kind of interesting here.
Opponent snapped.
We can always kind of rotate our cards and see what we can pull. I don't know that they'll be able to push much into the Altar of Death, so maybe it's something like Forge. Absorbing Man's going to rotate, so I don't know that he's going to be great either. But I'd rather that than Mockingbird. Doggo so calm. They've been absolutely overheated the last couple of days, and so I think they're just enjoying the cool air. But yeah, they are definitely calm right now. So let's see Iron Lad into Brood. That's not a bad one. They capped out their middle lane. We can at least push a lot of power there. We have the Gwinpool that we could guarantee. I kind of like it, but we're worried about an Annihilus, right? Otherwise, we guarantee that Gwynpool hits Blue Marvel 3 times. So it becomes a 9-power Blue Marvel play. Or we do this just in case they Annihilus this turn. I don't know. I don't think they have a way to go into the altar. They could also Cersei. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Mockingbird. We may end up having a brick to Blue Marvel, but just notice the Twitch drops require 6 hours. I hope you have more streams planned because I actually watch your streams instead of turn on, walk away. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing Gwynpool to the left. Could have been a good play. Shanwen. That way we get the power of Mockingbird and we have the extra space clear. I like that. And so I'm actually going to be, unless my daughter wakes up and frustrates my wife enough that I need to end stream, I plan on going way over 6 hours today. But I do plan to stream the next several days as well. And so we're going to run a couple of ads real fast so that they don't start in the middle of the gameplay. And then we'll be right back, you guys. Bob is really bad. I unlocked him, but I don't even have, like, an idea build for him. I don't think anything would be good. Can I pet that dog? You can absolutely pet that dog. This one doesn't do well in the heat, and so during the summer she ends up chewing out most of her hair because she doesn't have a big undercoat. But she's a very sweet dog. Yeah, Professor X is Jeff, but it only moves once, JR, and so that's the piece that I can't really get behind, is that it just feels like it's not going to be worth it to only move once. Is Surfer worth it in this deck?
Animated frame.
It just gives you another possible avenue. So like the first probably 5 games, I didn't draw Gwynpool at all. And so it was very much Silver Surfer and Patriot doing the heavy lifting. Add a channel point redeemed for Pet the Dog. So most of the time when my wife is downstairs, they hang out in her office, and so they kind of abandon me. If they always hung out nearby, I absolutely would put something for Pet That Dog. It's not a bad reserve variant. At least Bob's Spotlight is super skippable. Yeah. Yep. Nebula, she's not super important right now. Galactus, unless you just enjoy pain. Galactus isn't perfect right now. He can be ran, but it's a lot of times more trouble than he's worth. And yeah, so it's definitely skippable. I did pull all 3, but I wanted to have Bob just to do some experimenting. Can you do a Prime sub from mobile, or does it have to be on desktop? I think you can do it. I wonder if I have one set up for ! Prime. I think there's a link that you can use, capped, but I don't remember what it was. No, I don't have one. I'll look for what that link would be, and I'll set up a command for it moving forward as well. Galactus in Arsham Cell. It can be, you can use Galactus. It's just not core like it used to be. Sorry to hear that you were affected by a barrel. Hopefully you and your family are well. Yep. So nobody was majorly injured. Nobody had like major structural damage. Can't move. I don't have it set up yet, but I will. I will set it up. And so nobody had any like big issues. Like we lost a couple of trees that got pulled up from the roots, and so I played Lumberjack and worked through that, but otherwise nothing major. You can do it from mobile, just a little wonky. Weedicus. You said it's a little wonky. I guess how do you end up doing it? Do you think Gwynpool needs a ramp card like Psylocke or Hope Summers? Potentially. I was thinking of maybe trying out a Hope Summers deck as well. So maybe like a Kitty Pryde Shuri deck could benefit from her. but I don't know. I haven't got to play around with it enough to know for sure. So this looks like Cerebro 2. And so Space Throne would be kind of tough for them to win, I think. The Daredevil comes down. And so they may have a Hobgoblin. I know there was a very old version of C2 that ran Hobgoblin. Could also be... Oof. Could also be Negasonic, which feels really rough. Because I think we're going to force them to play the Negasonic over here to get rid of Blue Marvel. And then we're hoping for Mr. Sinister would be our best bet. That way we could play like Mr... Ooh, no, even then. We don't have enough space for the Space Throne to do much work. His mob move, if you snap on the turn you play him. I think they said... So if you snap as he's revealing, it would be the next turn, but I think the turn you play him, he might. They probably Blue Marvel here. What is this deck? So it's not C2. Super strange one. It's a bot? Oh. If we may lose to a bot. We're going to try not to lose to a bot. Is that the most power we can do? Or I think either Mockingbird or Absorbing Man. It is just a bot. Oh wait, we have the left lane and the...
Snap. Victory.
Petition for you and Regis to start your own podcast. I think our energies would definitely sync up, and I think that would be something that would really be cool. Darrow was losing to bots today. Was he trying out a Gwenpool deck? I assume he probably was. Maybe he was. He could have also been trying out Hydra Bob, I guess. But Regis definitely feels like a type of person that would really match the same kind of energy or vibe that I have. They retreat if they're behind going into 6. Gotcha. And your best friend, welcome in. I'm so glad that my best friend has now jumped in and joined us. So we could always hide the Silver Surfer in the Dark Dimension. We could hide Blue Marvel, a couple of those cards. That way we could really try to push for a potential big Gwinpool. Welcome in, Leonardo. Mate, you said I like yours and Regis's decks most in terms of creator decks. I try to... I love how Regis aims for fun over the best. Yeah, I like that he focuses on... Because it's not an aspect that most people really dive into as deeply. So I really like that he focuses on that end, because it gives a different flip side to it. You don't have to be super competitive to still enjoy the game. I think I might hide the Forge. Either that or maybe we just play it out. If we don't draw Gwynpool next turn, maybe we end up doing Mr. Sinister. All right, that's a green light on this end. We just got to get Regis on board. Imagine losing to a bot. I mean, I've lost to my fair share of bots for sure. They're running a Gwynpool deck too, but they went with a different direction. Yellow Jacket to be able to thin out their hand, Makari to be able to thin out their hand even further, and then Nakia. I want to stick this one out just to see what they have up their sleeve, because I think it'll be a pretty cool one. And so, Brood, we could hide Mr. Sinister. That way we can do Absorbing Man to copy the Brood. Regis seems like an always positive, optimistic guy. Yeah, and he's so very well spoken as well. Like, I've had the pleasure of being able to speak with him a little bit, sometimes in like forums that, you know, have the other devs involved. and he is always so eloquent in his word choices, and just everything about him is, I think, very much authentic. Marvel needs to sell the right to Hydra Bob to Sony so we can get Hydra Bob in the Morbius universe. Welcome in, Cool KG. I'm actually not familiar with Hydra Bob outside of being released into the game, and so he comes from like that Morbius universe. Well, he's a Deadpool character. I assume that's why he was released, but I guess I haven't read any of them, and I know he hasn't been in the first couple of Deadpool movies. So we can go Absorbing Man. We could go Iron Lad to try for a Patriot. That'd be the 1 out of 3. Or we could just go for a little bit of extra power. And they did have... Ooh. They had Gwinpool into Absorbing Man. They're going to drop a huge bomb here. Between probably Mysterio, Brood, I would imagine. We're probably going to lose this one, but I do want to see it play out. I think Ajax is a difficult one to... He's going to be... I think he's going to be a really... Goodness, that is a big Sebastian Shaw. I think Ajax is one that will be tough to really trigger effectively. And so then the big Broodling over there. Yeah, we're... actually pushed for a tie in the right. Ooh, we win the right with the Blue Marvel. Goodness. And so it's a Makari, Gwinpool, Nakia, Sebastian Shaw, like Surfer build. Good. Nakia, Gwinpool, Absorbing Man, Forge. It's a huge one. I really thought we were going to end up dropping that one, but I wanted to see what he had cooked up. That was... I guess had they had maybe Surfer and staged their Brood, but... Which variant? I think that was Binks' deck. Shaw was definitely buffed, just a little bit, if anything. Daniel, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day. This deck looks like a cool one. So this one, the only issue that I have with this style of deck, that's Regis' deck. I could see Regis dropping something like that. The only issue that I have with the one that I'm running now is it can go consistently wide, but it can't really go tall. So if you're going Innate Biz, that's my deck. Well, welcome in, Biz. So if you're going against a deck that high rolls incredibly well, there's nothing that you can do to stop it. And so if you're going against like Negative Tribunal, you don't have any counterplay to it. This one does a lot of consistent points across the board, but I think it definitely has some faults of its own as well. So we can go Forge. I kind of want to go like Patriot. So we can go Gwinpool on 4, maybe even Absorbing Man on 5, depending on what we have.
Hey,
Capped, it looks like you were able
enough.
to figure it out. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. That makes sure that you have ad-free viewing, and it helps support me. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully you're having a fantastic one. Have you ever watched the YouTuber, the Nando Cut? He does deep dives on the history. I may have seen a couple of his videos, but I haven't watched it for this one. I think we are going against another bot. So I'm going to go Patriot. Next turn would be Gwinpool. What are you drinking? It's water. I have actually ice water, and I'm
welcome.
excited to be able to have ice again. Because with the power being out, I didn't get into the freezer for the last day and a half. And so I'm glad that I'm able to freely get in and use the ice. So it's just ice water. And then...
Opponent snapped.
Is that Jackie Tolino? I may... now I can stream snipe? Viz, you absolutely can. Jackie, if that's how you say it. Thank you so much for the Prime sub as well. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. So we have some decent hits here. In Mr. Sinister, Brood, or Absorbing Man. Of course, our hand is really, really full. so there's no guarantee in what it's going to hit. It does hit the brood at least once. But now I wonder, do we go for it again with the Absorbing Man? We could go Absorbing Man Chavez to try to get a better hit on the brood, maybe the Mr. Sinister. I think we're going to try it. Gwen is so slow. I agree. She's definitely slow to ramp up, I think, in certain decks. So, like, if you have a guaranteed between, like, these two, if it hits once or twice, you can have a lot of power. But I think it's going to be like a Namor. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for people to settle into, like, her ability and finding the best way to utilize it. Did you know if you have better TTV, you can automatically claim Twitch drops? I did not know that, mate. So the Mockingbird comes in, but I think we go... It feels awful, but I think... No, I think it just becomes Brood Surfer. Because we'll push this one up by 2. And so we'll go up to 17 in the left. And then the 18 power in the Brood, I think, will be enough. Surfer left. Yeah, I agree. And then Capped. I do want to... I want to create some more emotes. That's kind of next on my list, is creating a few more emotes. The... Copying the Brood could have been kind of scary, but we had the lead going into it, I guess. And then Surfer buffing it up. Nicholas Cage. Hey, TLSG, thanks for streaming and entertaining us. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your name. It gave me a good giggle. Thank you for being here. Hopefully you're having a fantastic evening. I think instead of utilizing her with cards that want to be buffed, what if you utilize her with cheap cards? Yeah, I was thinking you could potentially do that as well. That way it's a guaranteed, like, 412. But this was kind of my first idea. So, like, on the last one, even just with that first drop, we would have gotten 6 extra power just from the Broodlings, 8 extra power from the Surfers. So it's really hard to kind of pass up that much potential power. So I'm going to go Chavez here to the left. That way we can do Gwinpool next turn. We're actually going to snap into it. Her with Swarm could be kind of cool if you do it before the Swarm comes down. If we do that, Mysterio, and have the other bodies, it'd be very much like an old school and buff deck. I'm not sure how consistent it would be, but I think it'd be fun. I remember way back, like over a year ago, I followed you on TikTok, and you followed me back. You were pretty small at the time. I didn't know you were on YouTube till a while later. Yeah, so on TikTok, I like to be able to follow as many people as possible. And so a lot of times I would get a follow, and I would drop that follow straight back. So we can do... But I'm glad that you found the YouTube, and hopefully you enjoy that content as well. So we can do... Gwinpool. We could play it into the Altar of Death so we have extra energy, but I kind of want to play it here just in case we draw Absorbing Man next turn. We could copy it. Dakin is another interesting one. A lot of times you would drop it early, right? But if he does get hit, it doubles his power. So similar to not necessarily Thor, but Beta Ray Bill. Could be similar in regards to that as well. So we did not get any good hits with Gwynpool this time, unfortunately. Let's go Forge. Sinister. Next turn we could go maybe Brood Mysterio. Brood Mysterio. We can get a really big explosive last turn play. His combo is clunky that late.
Welcome. It took you long enough.
Yeah, Dakin. Same thing with Beta Ray Bill. Since they're both 4, I think it would be really tough. Awful at this. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Very much appreciate having you here. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. And so the Stegron slapped our Gwinpool out, unfortunately. But we can do Real Mysterio. We can do Brood. That way we are at least competing for the Altar of Death. We know that they have a blob that they're sitting on, so maybe we can
Hey, welcome. It took
push a
you
little
long
bit
enough.
there.
Opponent snapped.
IKLXWN, thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. That pushes us to 8 for the day, which is, since I didn't know if I was going to be able to stream or not, is more than I could ever ask for. And so I appreciate you guys hanging out with me to get your drops. And we're going to be going for as long as we possibly can. Mr. Awesome, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day. So the Quinjet, what else do they destroy? So they're going to have 10? They have 10 energy going this last turn? And then the notification hasn't popped up. But
Hey,
Paradox,
welcome.
thank
It
you
took
for the
you long
Prime
enough.
sub as well. Pushing us to 9 for the day. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. Keeps airing when I try to follow you. Strange, Mr. Awesome. Maybe try refreshing the stream. I think would be really the only thing I can think of. And so here we never win mid. Ooh, that could be a play. Well, we don't, never mind. If we had more cards in our deck, this could be a play. But instead, Blob's going to be kind of useless. Hand of Blood, thank you so much for the resub as a Prime member. Get that casserole. Well, we're not gonna win. We're not gonna win mid. He's still 12 power. So 13. He becomes 15 power, right? But the Odin doesn't do us any good, and so then it would have to be something like Mockingbird. And then Surfer left. But I don't think that wins. They have the free raft resource. I think we lose 8 on this one. Surfer Odin. Surfer doesn't bump anything here. It wouldn't push a lot in mid either. We're gonna jump out of this one.
Escape.
I think my connection just sucks. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I always find it funny, the snap question mark. Because sometimes you're going to lose the snap. Sometimes, but it doesn't always make it the wrong call to have done it early. Like that one, I think, in a position where we can win the Altar of Death pretty easily. I think it's always the right call to snap into it. May not be the end of the game where you end up winning, though. And then All Out Chopper, you said, hey, TLSG, it's my big 40 today. And the best second dinner could do is Hydra Bob. Did you get him yet? I did pull for him. I used 3 keys to get him, unfortunately. But I haven't brought myself to actually try him out. Moeller, you said, how is RTO treating you?
Parker!
I'm drawing a blank. What is RTO? Thank you, Tim Phillips, or not Tim Phillips, for the posture check. Return to office. Thank you. So it actually hasn't happened yet. Surprisingly. So Hurricane Barrel hit on Sunday night, knocked out the power for pretty much all of my area. And so they canceled work for Monday and Tuesday. And then I just got power back maybe an hour ago, or I guess maybe an hour and a half ago now. And so they've also canceled Wednesday and Thursday. And so I don't have to return yet, is the moral or the short side of the story. Wait, I just opened the game. Hydra Bob is Series 5. Everything releases to Series 5 now, unfortunately. If he was a 4-9, he'd be wild. Hydra Bob. I'd agree. Well, yeah, because then you'd have that mobility. They've done some in the past, but that was definitely something that they did in the past. I think everything goes straight to 5 now. You're meant to stay work from home. Yeah, it's a sign. I would, if I could stay work from home, I would. But our leadership, we got new leadership, and they're really bringing the heave ho. Oof. That would be the best we could do. They have 2 turns to counter it. Not gonna lie, I just like hearing the name Hydra Bob. No Gwenpool. So we had a really big hand, and so the chances of her hitting what we needed were lower, and so I played it where we played the bodies instead. But the rock definitely ends up taking us out.
Escape.
He said, I live in Florida. I'm used to storms messing stuff up. And this one, since it's a hurricane, you have time to prep for it, but it always seems like our power grid just absolutely gets destroyed. It was only a category 1, and I think it was like almost 90% of people in the Houston area were without power. And whenever we got it back, there was something like over 1.5 million that still didn't have it. Yeah, still 1.4 million people without power in the Houston area. And that's well over 36 hours since the storm ended. 2 Bites, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Viriato stream, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Hopefully you're having a great day. I'm really glad to have you here, and I appreciate the support.
Victory.
He said he definitely needs a change. Moving once randomly. Yeah. After a snap with no buff to himself in the process. Yeah, I agree. And he can be hit by Killmonger and just... it doesn't feel like he does anything exceptionally well. You could play one more energy for a Jeff, and then you have control over when and how it moves. Versus Hydra, you have to jump through the snapping hoop to be able to get him to move, and then you may not get him to move into the right spot. It just definitely feels kind of awkward. Bro, are you this is in all the time? Yeah. I'm pretty much always real level-headed, very easygoing, very positive vibes. I love your welcome voice line. I do too. I still giggle about it. I've heard it several times now, but even now, I still giggle every time I hear it. So I think we Chavez and then Brood. We have Blue Marvel for next turn, potentially drawing Absorbing Man as well. Does Gwenpool trigger Sebastian Shaw's ability? She does. I just don't have Shaw. I don't think I've ever seen someone that plays card games and is chill. I get that a lot. There is another YouTuber. His name is Regis. He has very similar, very good vibes. But most people are get very stressed at the game. But I enjoy playing. And if I don't, then I don't need to be doing the streams, I don't think. So we could Blue Marvel, but it does seem kind of rough. We have the Gwinpool.
Hey, welcome.
We could always dig for an Iron Lad, but I think Blue Marvel is the safest one. And I should have played Brood into Panopticon. This smells like a bot.
Oh, snap.
We can't back down from a bot. Super Dusty 1981. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. Another Regis mention, podcast confirmed. If we can will that into existence, into the environment, then I'm all for it. So we could do like a big 4-9 to the right. And then they're going to have to compete for or push for all 3 locations. This one isn't incredibly huge, but with Blue Marvel, it becomes 3 and 5 with the Patriot, which I think is going to be enough. Sinister left. Sinister left would have been more power, but since we already had the lead there, I knew they would have to push something there, but this was definitely a bot-like play. Mockingbird needs to be 5'7".
Victory.
I agree, and I think she would still be very strong at 5'7". But 5'9" is really, really crazy for how easy it is to... I'm not a bot that. Yeah, 5'9" is definitely very strong for how easy it is to get her on the board. Like, even if you don't get her at, like, 0, just playing Mysterio plus her gets you, like, a 3-cost 9 power, which is crazy. Jay Garcia, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're here for me to return back to. Because from my break, it could have been that there wasn't anyone that wanted to watch the stuff. You guys could have moved on. And so I'm very happy that you guys are still here to enjoy the content. So many locations also place junk on board. Yeah, yep. And then with like how common White Widow is or debris from either you or the opponent, gets really crazy really fast. So I think I'm going to go ahead and destroy the Forge. And then, depending on what we draw, we may skip on 3 into Gwinpool on 4. Does anyone play Lockjaw anymore? Unfortunately, no. At 4 costs, Lockjaw feels like it's just a little bit too late in the game. We got a One Piece fan in the chat. TLSG needs to read audiobooks. I would read audiobooks if... Oh, I should have played the Rock out, just in case we draw something good here, but we didn't. Maybe we Iron Lad? Or I guess we could Gwynpool. If it hits Iron Lad, we could try to dig for like a Brood or Sinister with our Iron Lad, since it'd have that increased power. Old Lockjaw was crazy annoying. Yeah, so especially before they limited on how many times. Wait, you said, dude, come on, you're literally the best? Me? What did I do? There has to be an audiobook agent. I mean, if they are, that'd be I think that'd be a really fun gig. So I think we do Rock and then Iron Lad. We have 2 out of 5 chance. No, it's 8 cards. 2 out of 8. Much less ideal odds. We're still gonna send it though. Thoughts on Gwen? I think that at 4 cost, it's really hard to make sure that she hits the cards that you have or that you want to hit and have enough time to like get them onto the board. I also miss Arrow's old ability. Yeah, she definitely doesn't feel like she does what she needs to anymore. A really powerful Rock. She does get buffed up by Patriot. Should be a dangerous 3 cost. Yeah. I want a TLSG cameo in Deadpool and Wolverine. That would be such a big honor that I don't think would ever happen. Oh, the Echo. Oh my goodness. I went Echo blind. Oh, and it's the final turn. I thought it was turn 5. Oof. Not a good start. We'll give him the fist bump and the embarrassed sweat on the brow and then quickly exit out. Chad is messing with the flow. That's all right. We're pre-infinite, and we face enough bots that it'll be all right. You guys just want the stream to go longer. And actually, we're going to run a really quick set of ads. Ooh, I didn't cancel that one out. I'm going to see if I can finish this one before the ads trigger. That's the streamer chat tax. That's what I signed up for. The very rare throw TLSG. That was a big throw, too. The ads aren't running yet. I'm going to try and get the game over before the ads. So if not, I do have a snooze. So we have Brood, and it did get buffed up by Chavez.
It took you long enough.
Just played you. Echo is actually invisible. Absolutely invisible. And I thought it was turn 5 and not turn 6. It was an awful throw. But very good game. If we could get Gwynpool, this would be fantastic. Kamartaj. But we'll see. We're going to throw Forge. And I think you beat me a little bit earlier today as well. Takudo. Your cameo would be a bait and switch. Seems like it's going to be Taylor Swift and Cruel Summer, but then it's just me, and the vast majority of people are just, who is this guy? Was hoping Gwinpool would work in Destroy, but unless you ramp, yeah. Unless you ramp into it, it's definitely a little bit too late. Because I was thinking the same thing with like, ooh, homie's making a snap into it. I was thinking the same thing with like a Phoenix Force, but unless you... How are we gonna win? How are we gonna win this one? Unless you, same thing, if you ramp into it, you could potentially get it for like the Nimrod or Phoenix Force, but other than that, it really is too expensive. Yeah, that was a rude Hobgoblin right into our snapback. I think that was an Agent Coulson. No, it was an Arisham. Out of curiosity, what do you do for work? Yeah, we had to snooze. So what I do for work is a data analysis. So I take a lot of really big data sets, whether they be in like Excel, Power BI, or something similar, and I filter and segregate the data into easily consumed pieces for our leaders. So I think we're hoping for the Gwinpool and not the Mr. Sinister. Data analysis, that's why he's good at this game. I think there is definitely a decent link there. And so if we don't hit Gwynpool, I think we have to retreat out. There's no way we beat a 36 power blob in Kamartaj. And then I'm not sure, I don't think I thanked you, but Man Bear Pig, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. I appreciate the support for our leaders. It does. It's for the company leaders, but yeah, no, it definitely sounds kind of Silver Surfer is not what we were looking for there. We could always brood into Silver Surfer right if we thought we were going to win left with just Patriot. Which I don't, Mockingbird and Patriot, I don't think that ever wins. So unfortunately, we're gonna duck out of this one. Glad that you're back on power. So am I. I'm really glad that we're back on power, not only because I can stream, but because it was incredibly hot in here. I think at max it ended up being like 85 in our house, which is just awful. Like we were taking cold showers just to cool down. We went for a couple of drives just to have the AC running. So I'm glad that the power's back as well. It's just the same Arisham deck. All over, yeah. Yeah, Arisham's really strong unless you're running decks that have those counterplays, and that's why Shang-Chi makes a big comeback. That's why Clutter is also really strong. Like if I was really wanting to sweat to infinite, I'd probably run my Clutter deck because it does it incredibly well against Arisham, and I think it would do well against this deck because it does put a lot of bodies on the board very early on. Oh, the ad. We got to run a quick ad break, and then we'll jump back in. And maybe we start looking at constructing like a Hope Summers, Kitty Pride, Gwynpool deck. So we're gonna run a quick ad break, and I'm gonna mess around with like what that shell would look like. And so I'm thinking like a Shuri style shell, but I'm not sure how strong that is right now, or if it could even really get very many points, but it'd be like your Vision Shuri. I think we typically ran Angela in it. Of Hope Summers. That would allow us to kind of fit her out a little bit easier and kind of push it onto the cards that we wanted it to hit. So if we were able to get our cards down to maybe 1 or 2, we could leave Kitty Pryde in hand. I think Elsa fits into this one really well. The vision... I already add vision? Oh. Forgot I created a scene for this. We have vision. I think Elsa... Oh no, we already added Elsa. And so with Elsa, I do like Jeff as that ability to trigger Angela. I think Thena also would fit into this one now. I haven't ran it since she's came out, but I think it fits into it really well. Taskmaster. And then big body like Red Hulk. With Hope Summers, you can potentially curve him out early. You could potentially do Shuri into Red Hulk and Taskmaster to get a little bit of additional push going your way. And I'm actually not sure if Gwinpool fits into this one super well. I mean, you typically are going to flood most of your cards, so she should pretty realistically be that 4-6 play, or 4-12. But nah, I don't really like it. It interferes with the Shuri line, and so it'd be like a backup to your Shuri play, unless you can curve out and get her out early. And then for the last one, I think either something low like Nightcrawler, or maybe even Luke Cage if you're worried or seeing much like Shadow King. I'm not super confident in it though. But that'd be kind of the idea that I would be thinking on it. It can be tough with kids at home with the power outage. Absolutely. And especially my